And we are live. You can actually hear me now. Hello, this is on Darian ASMR. Yes, I did have the microphone setting correctly. I had it on the wrong setting, embarrassingly. These things happen, technical issues across the board. So, usual house rules for these live streams: keep it civil, keep it friendly, keep it light, keep it, happy and all that sort of thing. But I am now live. Hello Sage, thank you for joining me. Yes, I know I have to admit it's a bit early in the day for these live streams, but England is playing in the football final later and it's going to get noisy, so I'm doing it now because it's a lot quieter. I will just redo the link in the the original stream lasted a little under 4 minutes because I dropped an absolute clanger and forgot to set my microphone. So if you see the original... Hi Julie, thank you for joining me. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you very much. Started. Please do come and join me as I am celebrating my 37th birthday. Yes, I'm getting old. I'm 37. Ooh. And yes, I am wearing slippers. Anyway, where was I? No, that's not the link I wanted. Yeah, 37. I got Amazon vouchers for my birthday. I'm putting that towards a video camera. I'm actually going to get some proper equipment to actually record, which will be nice. So when I do live streams, I will be able to stream it through a proper HD camera, and you won't have this grainy little picture in front of you. You will have a crystal clear Blue Yeti mic, fly away here, Blue Yeti microphone, crystal clear picture, and we'll be good to go. We will be set. I will no longer... Also, in other news, as you know, I've been having problems with my phone. I can actually show you the issue with my phone. If I can get it out. That is my phone. You can see where the back's come away and the glue has melted where it's overheated. So tomorrow I have a brand new phone arriving. I pay for the SIM cards, so the phone I'm getting, it's going to be a Galaxy A2. It's not sort of the all singing. It's not a Galaxy. It's a Samsung anyway, but it's not a Galaxy. I like the Galaxy phones, but yeah. Oh, and we have cake. It's a caterpillar cake. Atlas, hello, thank you for joining me. Yes, indeed, thank you. Yes. I have got one more present to open, and I wanted to open it on camera. I don't know if my mate Stu will be joining. However, I wanted to open this live on stream because this one was given to me by him. So hopefully I can do a reaction, and hopefully he'll be able to see it live, or as live. So I'm quite excited to see what this is. I have a feeling I know what it is. Well, I know what it is, but I don't know what it is. It's a model, but I don't know what it's an actual model of. So he kind of bought it for me as a part birthday present, part thank you, for all the support I've given him as a friend throughout these last few years. And I'm really grateful to him. He's very naughty for doing this, but got some nice shirts as well, and a locomotive model kit, Meccano, if you're familiar with the brand. Well, it's Meccano-like. So we shall open this. I've got a knife, we shall open it at both ends. Ooh. Ooh, he's naughty. He is very naughty. But this is very special. This is because I have a soft spot for these locomotives. I will say, I do have a soft spot for these locomotives. And yes, it is a steam locomotive. He's very naughty. He shouldn't have done, but I'm very, very grateful to him. He's incredibly naughty. It is a Southern Railway. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's a Southern Railway school class locomotive, and it's Blundell's number 30932, or when it was in it's in BR livery. BR, it's the Cycling Lion crest here, which is the early 50s up to about 1958, before the ferret and dartboard logo came in. But it's post British Railways, which was the which was just painted on the side of the of the tenders from about 1948 to about 1951, I believe. He's incredibly naughty. But you know, let's have a look at it. Let's have a look. Here it is. We take it out the packaging. I'm not actually going to take it out the packaging, but I just want to. Oh, look at that! I'm just going to put the plastic back on to hold them together. But I would love you to see the model. It's absolutely. The problem is it's too dark. That's why I'm going to put on, excuse me, some extra light. So hopefully. Thing is, it's painted in BR black, which isn't the most camera friendly. There we go. Hopefully you can see it better there. But yeah, try not to hit the microphone. But there's the tender. You can kind of see it better if I. You probably can't hear the mic now, but you can probably see it better if I hold it sort of like that. But I love school class locomotives. They're named after all the public schools in southern England, and the town where I live, there is actually that actually had a locomotive of this class as well, number 905 Tunbridge, named after Tunbridge School. You also had Sevenoaks, Dover, Westminster, this is Blundell. I think it said Blundell's, didn't it? Yeah, this is Blundell's. Dulwich College. You know, they were the largest 040 express engine. They were designed by Richard Maunsell, so they predate my best mates. I do, Julie. I have a cabinet full of my models, not all of my models. I do 2 scales. I do 00 gauge, which is 4mm to the foot in scale, and I do N gauge, which is 2mm to the foot in scale. And I'm just trying to get everything back in the box. And all my N gauge stock is stored away, but I do have my favourite 00 gauge locomotives on display, mostly Southern, but I am in truth a Great Western Railway enthusiast. So I have a mixture of all British, quite a few, well, they're all British locomotives. I don't have any European or American, but I'm building a layout, or have been building a layout called Ashdown Park, based on the Bluebell Railway, inspired by the Bluebell Railway, which, once meetings can take place again, I hope to get back to working on at the Railway Club, which I've been a member for now it'll be 14 years this September. I've been a member. No, 2007. Yeah, 14 years I joined. Excuse me, I'm going to have some Pringles. And I'll probably get through the whole tub, because these are very addictive. Sorry, I'm just responding to a birthday wish. I'm getting a lot of good, wishing messages today. It's been lovely, actually. I've had lots of messages of, well-wishing messages and things, and lots of I've spoken to a number of my relatives today, and emailed and messaged the others. Made sure I rang my grandma. Well, I rang my grandma to thank her and my granddad for my card and gift. Got some lovely shirts from my eldest aunt and uncle on my mum's side of the family, which are always welcome. They're patterned sort of casual shirts. Got another sort of lumberjack shirt today, so I quite like lumberjack shirts. As I say, I got Amazon vouchers so that I can finally get my proper video camera, and you will finally be able to see me on here in my full proper glory, shall we say. So yeah, you know, but 37 years, where's the time flown, you know, 37 years, and I look back at what I've done, you know, I worked, for 10 of those years I worked in insurance, I've been on telly, you know, and in the last year alone I started, you know, started my channel. I've done a lot in 37 years, really. I mean, as a kid I didn't do a great deal, but as a kid I developed my imagination. I used to play a lot with Lego, and I still do play with Lego. But I should say build with Lego, not play with Lego. But you never grow out of playing with Lego. You can't grow out of playing with Lego. You know, it's something that's with you for the rest. You either do or don't play with it. That's the thing. There's no in between. We're all big kids in the end. You know, we're all big kids. And you know, my childhood was, I mean, I didn't have a lot of friends during childhood, and I actually spent a lot of time sort of up in my bedroom playing with my action figures, playing with my Lego, you know, building sets, my own sets, creating my own characters, creating my own stories, you know, and it all went from there, really. You know, I built entire worlds just in my bedroom, just using my bed as the sort of scenery. You know, I used to put books up to hold the duvet up so it would become a cave, or you know, I would build the pillows up into a mountain and put the duvet over the top into a mountain, and I'd have the action figures climb the mountain, you know, and climb the mountain. And I think that was some of the best, you know, I mean, I honestly say I'm much more of an outdoors person now as an adult than I ever was as a kid. I've always appreciated nature, but I was never one of those kids that was outside all the time in the garden looking at insects or you know, chasing birds or anything like that. You know, it was all about up here. It was all about my imagination. And yeah, I mean, now I appreciate wildlife, I appreciate, you know, conservation, things like that. But the years I really do cherish my first 20 years on the planet, even though I had it quite rough during my teenage years. I do cherish my youth, my childhood, because it's created the person you see here now talking to you. It's defined who I am, the storyteller, the imagination, the want to share a dream, you know, something like that. And it grew, you know, it's always been there. Even as a kid, I always said that one day I would have a story that I wanted to share. And you know all that, you know all this, of course. Otherwise I wouldn't be doing it. And I think, yeah, you know, I've done so much more as an adult that I never imagined I would ever do. You know, I've been to so many places I never imagined I would actually go to. I've seen. I mean, at some point, I want to get on a plane and see the world. I want to go to America. I want to visit Japan. For America, I want to do the Fallout franchise tour, sort of, start in California, visit Las Vegas because of Fallout New Vegas, to say I've done it. Visit Massachusetts because that's where Fallout 4 takes place. DC because that's where Fallout 3 takes place. And West Virginia because obviously that's where Fallout, the online multiplayer game Fallout 76 takes place. It's all part of, obviously I need to have employment to be able to do it because it's very expensive, but it's okay. And that will come. It's never a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Excuse me, I do apologise. I've got a funny feeling I've got a scam message. Bear with me. I might need to do some blocking. I think I've got a scam message. I'll explain later on Twitter. I've got a good idea what to do. Restrict them first of all. Oh, it's okay. No, it's not what I thought it was. I beg your pardon. Oh, that would be amazing. If I definitely get to DC, I will drop you a tweet, a message, anything. And obviously, if you end up in London, if you ever come to London, I'm only 30 minutes away on the train from London. So, it's no biggie for me to jump on the train and just go up for the day. I get a 1-day travel card, covers all the London transport zones 1 to 6. What's fantastic about London Transport is, however, it's called tap in, tap out. So you just take your debit card or your Oyster card, which is like a paper travel ticket, you tap it on the reader, and you have to tap it on the way into the station and on the way out of your travel destination, because obviously that's how it pays the full journey. It registers your card at the station you arrive, you start your journey, and then you pay at the end of your journey. So, but if any of you ever do find yourselves in London, I'm pretty sharp knowing my way around the city, the West End. I've walked all the way from the City of London to Islington, so I'm not very good with history, so I can't be a tour guide, but I can definitely take you on some of my favourite walks and show you some of the sites that the tourists don't often see. Because there's so much of London that if you do a package tour, you do the usual, you do things like the Tower of London, you visit Buckingham Palace, you know, you might do the Natural History Museum, you might do the... Oh, if you want haunted places, the Tower of London's the place to go in London. Yeah, I've been there a couple of times, and they do tell you ghost stories there. I'm sure we can find some cheesemongers. I was at the Hampton Court Flower Show yesterday, and there were actually cheesemongers. Selling their produce yesterday. I nearly did shout out. I had to stop myself. My parents don't know about this joke anyway. They wouldn't understand it. But I did have to hold on to the resistance of shouting, "Where is cheesemonger?" And hi Sarah, thank you for joining me. Thank you. Yes. Indeed. It's a quiet one today, but I'm doing the live stream now because of the football later. It's going to get noisy, and of course, you know. But as I say, I really had to withhold yelling out, "Where is cheesemonger?" because there were loads of people, and I really do think I would have made myself look a complete plonker for. And of course, my parents wouldn't have got it anyway because they've never seen the collaboration to begin with. They don't. They know I do ASMR, but they don't watch it. It's not their sort of thing. They've never seen any of my work. Hello, Sulphur. Thank you for joining me. Yes, indeed. Thank you. Yes, this is the birthday live stream. I'm not drinking my gin. I bought a lovely bottle of gin yesterday at the Hampton Court Flower Show. I am name dropping the show, by the way, quite a bit today because I really enjoyed it. You know, it didn't include entry into the palace, so we didn't do the palace because it's actually a separate event run by the Royal Horticultural Society. They've got the Chelsea Flower Show, the Hampton Court Flower Show, the Tatton Park Flower Show, and now they have the Chatsworth Flower Show up in Derbyshire. Chelsea Flower Show, of course, is the premiere of the events that they do. I did do a taste test. I did do a taster yesterday, actually, at the event. They were doing samples, and it is one of the most beautiful, smoothest. I've taken the bottle down to the kitchen because I didn't actually want to drink it during this stream. I'm having a glass tonight during the football because and I bought Schweppes soda water. I just didn't buy any ordinary tonic water. I bought Schweppes Indian tonic water because that's what they were using at the show, and it had hints of orange, obviously juniper. It's got hints of thyme. It's called the Six Wives because it's got 6 botanicals in it. There is a photo up on it on my Twitter feed. If you can find it, it should be because it's quite recent. I can read it out what it's got actually. If I go to media, because it has. Yeah, I don't actually have an England shirt. That's why I'm wearing my red Skynet shirt today, because I don't actually have an England shirt, but I thought I needed to wear something red today. Because obviously the England... here we go. It's got... it says here on the label, an exceptionally smooth, small batch handcrafted English gin. Juniper, orange, thyme, cubeb berries, bitter almond grains of paradise, and it's actually made. It's called Hampton Court Gin. It's called the Six Wives, but it's made at the Hampton Court Gin Distillery. I don't think that's actually at the Palace, but it's in the vicinity of Hampton Court, which is actually the name of the local area. If you ever travel to it by train, it's direct from London Waterloo. So if you ever need train travel advice via London or from London, just let me know, because I'm pretty decent with train travel. I mean, I've travelled up to Edinburgh. I've done Edinburgh once back in 2009, and I've done Manchester. I've done Birmingham a couple of times for an event up at the NEC, and I've done Manchester, I think, I want to say twice, but I can't remember. I think it may only be once. And Manchester and Birmingham, you go from London Euston. But, you know, gin is a very difficult one to pin down. If you can find a really, really good make, and I tell you this because it's handmade gin. They said they filtered it 22 times. It was filtered 22 times and went through, you know, different processes, and it was absolutely gorgeous. You know, I do like gin. York gin is one of my favourites. Unfortunately, they weren't there. Otherwise, I certainly would have got some York gin. The best of theirs is Cocoa, which has a chocolatey aftertaste. Outlaw, which is their strongest gin. Most of their gin is about 42%. Outlaw is 54% alcohol. And it's strong, but it's good. And Roman Fruits, which doesn't have any extra added sugar because it uses the natural sugars of the fruits they infuse the gin with. So it's Roman fruits being apples, citrus fruits, you know, the berries, you know, strawberries, things like that. All the fruits that the Romans brought over. So apples, pears, you know, because apples aren't actually native to Britain. They were brought over by the Romans. So you're getting a bit of history as well. You're getting a bit of history. It's like rabbits were brought over by the Normans. You know, they're not actually native to this country. Rabbits, they're you know, the natural state of affairs, it should be the hare, but it doesn't work like that. Time for a piece of cake. So, you know, nice big generous piece. Feet as well. Try not to drop the knife. Where was I? No, rabbits are not actually native to this country, and neither are grey squirrels. I hate to say it, folks, but we blame America for the grey squirrels because they came over here and they were brought over here by people from America in the 19th century, and they very nearly wiped out our red squirrel population. But our red squirrels are fighting back. They are back on the up, so we've had a successful breeding program over here. But, you know, that's by the by. These things happen. History teaches us many things. Oh, I'll let you into a little secret, because we actually had some last night. I've got the face end, but I've still got the face this end. But we had the other end last night when my sister was here, because she came with us to Hampton Court, but she's not here today because she wants to be home for the football. So we actually had some last night, so there's about half of it left. So, but yeah, I would say if you have a caterpillar cake, start at the back. And I had the back bit, I had the very end bit. It's incredibly chocolatey, crumbling all over the place. Luckily I've got Sage is being very diplomatic with the emoji. Yeah, Swarm says it best. Start with the bum. Start with the bum. That sounds good, doesn't it? Anyone who's just sort of come into this live stream and heard me say that, they're going to go, what is he talking about? You know, what? I mean, hopefully they've seen the chat, so they'll know the context of what we're... you know, what we you know, hopefully they'll have paid attention to the chat and seen we're talking about a cake, a caterpillar cake. But they might be coming in and hear me saying start with the bum, and they might be wondering what on earth is he going on about. This is what I'm going on about. Well, the cake's here. Hang on. The cake is down here, but there's the packaging. We had about half of it last night. Bombay. We have it over here as Bombay Blue Gin. It is a familiar product. I've never had it myself. I prefer if it's in a, or well, it's called Bombay Sapphire Gin here in the UK. But if I'm having a gin and tonic on a night out, I tend to go for Gordon's, because that's sort of the main, that's very much the sort of mainstream pub gin, along with Bombay Sapphire. I'm just drinking cherry cola at the moment. I was going to drink the gin during the live stream, and I thought I don't want to drink the whole bottle, you know, because I'd know what I'd do. I'd end up drinking the entire bottle, and that's not a good thing. Me and gin are friends, but we're not that good friends. You know, we could end up. It could end up being very, very messy. So you know, but what's that? The smash cake. Oh yes, Very Hungry Caterpillar. Very popular book over here. Very popular book over here. I remember reading it as a child. But yes, that. And I mean, most of the books that I know from childhood, I actually read at school. I never even had a copy of The Tiger That Came to Tea, but they did at school, so I read it at primary school. Jodie, hello, welcome, thank you. We're just discussing caterpillar cakes and children's books, because I have got, and here's proof at which end we started. There's the face, and you can guess which end we started at. So we were just debating which end it is you do start eating it from, and yes, that is the end that we started it last night. So Sarah was saying it like it is. Really, I was trying to be tactful, be a gentleman and be tactful, but I'm not drinking, by the way. I am sober. I've been drinking cherry cola. Children that face plant. I never face planted a cake, thankfully, as a kid. You know, in all my 37 years, I've never got a cake in the face, except when eating it. I've never had one of those custard pies in the face or anything like that. I've managed to avoid all those hijinks and hijinks and jollifications, shall we say. It is. It's Morrison's. It's a Morrison's one. It's not. It's Morris the caterpillar. It's a Morrison's one, so it's not. But it was a joke cake. I couldn't find a Thomas the Tank Engine one. I was disappointed I couldn't find a Thomas the Tank Engine one. It's usually one I get for the Railway Club as a joke, because whenever it's our birthday, whenever it's a club member's birthday at the Railway Club, they do a cake, and the coffees are on the house. And obviously for the last year or so we haven't had any club meetings, so this is the second birthday I've missed not being at the club. But up until about 2019, I always did my best to try and get a Thomas the Tank Engine cake as a joke, because everyone eats cake. Well, not everyone eats cake, within reason. I mean, if you're gluten intolerant, you can't eat cake, can you? If you're a celiac, you can't eat cake, which is, unless you use gluten-free flour. Let's be realistic. I'm trying to be tactful. No. You go on. You carry on, Sarah. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for being here, and thank you for bringing the how shall I put it? The humour into the conversation. Not that there wasn't any humour to begin with, but yes. So, yeah, I know. Always have a soft spot for my childhood loves, and Thomas was a big one for me. My dad bought my first book when I was a babe, when I was a toddler, and basically my mum blames him for my my incessant love of steam locomotives and railway modelling. So she holds him responsible for the fact that I have a collection of locomotives now in model form. But the books were on offer, so yeah. But No, I was saying to everyone, Jodie, just to bring you up to speed, I got some Amazon vouchers for my birthday, and I'm gonna put them towards a video camera. So hopefully by the time I come to stream at some point in the future, it will be a crystal clear picture. No more grainy sort of, it'll be a proper HD picture. The sound will always be top notch because obviously I have my Blue Yeti. And all in all, it will really be, I will be set to properly stream, you know. Do you know, I've come to realise so far on every stream I've done in at least the last 3 or 4 weeks, it's turned into an impromptu mukbang. Oh, is Laurie here? Laurie, hello, thank you for joining me. Yes, thank you indeed. Yes, it's been a busy day. Well, it's been a quiet day for me. It's going to be busy later. Yes, Jodie, it is. Yeah, oh, definitely. Best of luck in Asda. I know how busy they get, especially today. In fact, drop a tweet and let us know how busy it is in Asda, because I'd be curious to know. Yes, thank you for dropping by, Laurie. Hope you're doing well. But indeed, you know, new equipment on the way, new phone on the way. It's really, you know, I mean, I'm not one of those people who like a huge fuss on their birthday. You know, I'm not one for surprise parties or you know, big huge cakes with loads of candles or the singing happy birthday sort of thing. You know, I'm just me. It's just, in a way, it can be just another day to me, especially if it falls on a weekday. I might take a few cakes into work or something like that. Obviously, when I get a job, I've kind of escaped it for the last 2 years because obviously, this time last year I was on furlough leave, and obviously at this time this year I'm unemployed at the moment. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. You never know what might be round the corner. I just hate seeing myself eat, because I do some really strange. I've got a really strangely shaped mouth. I really do think that. I've got a really weirdly shaped mouth. Yeah, that's what I definitely thought, Laurie. Yeah, definitely good luck. Who knows? Most people might have done their shopping yesterday, but I think the term "may the best of British be with you," or whatever, you know, whatever we Brits say now. He says, "Try not to get chocolate sauce on his chocolate ganache on his fingers." This cake is as Moorish as Pringles. It really is that good. They should, you know, if I ever get offers of sponsorship in the future, maybe I should go for cake. You know, forget sleep. You know, forget sleeping headphones. Forget mattresses. Forget, if you want someone to apply. Maybe not. I'm really trying to lose weight. I mean, today's a real naughty day because I've got this with me. But you know, how often do you have your birthday? Once a year, unless you're Queen Elizabeth II, then you get 2 birthdays. Your actual birthday and your official birthday, which actually marks how many years she's been on the throne, which is 69. Yeah, because next year's her platinum jubilee, so we do get an extra day off for that. Which will be nice. We got an extra day off last year for... No, we didn't. They shifted the May bank holiday at the beginning of the month to a Friday instead of a Monday because it was VE Day, 8th of May 2020, which was the 75th anniversary of VE Day. So... yeah, I think, yeah. As I say, anyone who's joining us now or watching the live stream and you're not looking at the chat and you're wondering why we're talking about caterpillar bums, I suggest you really do have a look at the live chat. If it's not public, I will make it public because it really does give the context of what we're discussing, and I think it's probably for the best that you see that context. Otherwise, this is making absolutely no sense whatsoever, and it's making the whole thing look a bit not quite totally bonifodo or bonafide or whatever, you know, Napoleon Bonaparte sort of thing. Bonafide, yeah, bonafide, Napoleon Bonaparte. Oh, I'll be saying Napoleon Solo next from Man from U.N.C.L.E. Dun 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 dun. Oh no, that's Joe 90. Oh dear. I'm sober. That's the thing. I am sober, but I'm probably on a sugar high. I am probably on a sugar rush. Which is just as bad, to be honest with you. Maybe. I don't know. Boof. But that cake is so moorish. I'm that close. I'm 2 pieces away, 2 large pieces away from the head. I might finish it up after the stream. But yeah, you know, just I do sometimes get to the point in the day of my birthday where I do start sort of feeling nostalgic, you know, getting a pang of nostalgia and looking back at everything I've done in the last... Because I'm 1 step closer to 40 now. I am 1 step closer to 40, and I'm not as fast-paced as I used to be. You know, not that I ever really was fast-paced. I wasn't living, you know, life in the fast lane or fast and loose and fancy-free sort of thing. But I've slowed down, and... Oh, good grief, 10:30 a.m. I had meat-free bacon for breakfast today. It was lovely. Really smelt and tasted like bacon. Because obviously I can't eat bacon now because of my gallbladder. So I'm cutting back. I haven't gone completely vegan, but I'm cutting back on certain food types to try and because I've got an appointment coming up soon in August to speak to my surgeon, so that will be happening sooner rather than later. So, because I think as I'm edging closer to sort of the sort of next decade of my life, my physical health has become as important to me as my, mental health, and vice versa. I've got an appointment with the respiratory clinic on Wednesday, which should hopefully sort out why I keep getting congested. I keep getting bunged up and congested, and they did raise some concerns. So I'm in touch. I'm seeing a respiratory specialist. Yes, it is the appointment I'm having in August is a telephone appointment with the surgeon, or the surgeon team, or a member of the surgeon team that deals with it. I am having it removed, because to be honest with you, although I'm very careful with what I eat, knowing that it could flare up at any point just gives me so much anxiety. The fact that I can have it removed and not have to worry about a flare up. Thank you, Sulphur. That's very kind of you to join me. Thank you very much. Have a good day at work, whatever it is you're doing. But indeed, thank you for joining me. But yeah, the fact I can have it removed, and therefore it will actually put a stop to the flare-ups. I will still need to watch what I eat, and I will still have to make changes to my diet. However, it will be more beneficial to me to have it removed than to keep it and constantly be worried about having a flare-up, because of it. So it makes much more sense for my peace of mind and my mental health, really. I will have my gallbladder completely removed. I've already spoken to my GP. They referred me back. They referred me for surgery back in January. I was expecting to wait for a year to hear from a surgeon. So to hear it to be speaking with them nearly 7 months after the initial referral is pretty good, just as long as certain global pandemics are under control and people stick to the rules and guidelines. Although if you're English, well, not English, UK, that sounds like it's going to be an absolute free-for-all on the 19th of July. But I won't go into that, because that just puts me on tenterhooks, and I don't want to think about that. I will continue wearing a mask, and where necessary, trying to remain as socially distanced as I possibly can from people. It makes sense to do so, to continue to do so. So we just have to wait and see on that count. However, it all means everything is moving forward, and I definitely do feel more at ease knowing it will be removed, because I can't continue with any flare-ups of this gallbladder. It's so painful and uncomfortable that it's like it's here. It's like having it's how I completely imagine having a red hot spear very, very slowly passed through your body without stopping. So it goes right the way through your body, out your back, and it is the most I would not wish this pain upon my worst enemies. I would never wish this pain on my worst enemies, and I have a number of people, shall we say, I never really got on with in my life. I wouldn't say they're my worst enemies, but you know, even them I wouldn't wish this pain upon. I thought a dislocated shoulder was the worst pain I'd ever endure. But exactly, it does. When I had the very first attack on the 8th of May, overnight, on the 8th and 9th of May, I actually thought I was dying. I really thought that was it for me. I couldn't breathe. It triggered an anxiety attack. It really felt like the world was coming to an end. It really was something awful. And you know, it caused me to break out into a cold sweat. You know, it's indescribable. It is completely indescribable how much pain. I mean, the thing is, as a mate, as a chap, I can't begin to fathom how much pain. I'm going to say how much pain a woman goes through in childbirth, and you know, I can't imagine that. I mean, a dislocated shoulder is painful, and I can vouch for that. And a gallbladder attack is incredibly painful, and I can vouch for that. You know, they are the only two hints of pain I can obviously compare in my life, because that's all I know. And yeah, I mean, let's face it, the pain of the dislocated shoulder actually made me regress to childhood. I mean, that was also due to it being part of a road accident, so they actually told me that regressing to childhood was the way of my mind dealing with the trauma of the accident. But anyway, let's talk about more what's the word? Pleasant things, shall we? Yeah, no, thank you very much for joining me, Sage. That's really, really kind of you to join me. Do enjoy the rest of your day, because I know it's still quite early in America. I believe you're sort of in the same area as Julie, so yes, please do enjoy the rest of your day. Really, that kidney stones are like that, are they? I'm glad they're not what I'm suffering from. But yeah, let's change up the tone. Let's change up the tone, because you know there's so much to look forward to over this coming year. I mean, I'm in my 37th year now. I've started my 37th year on the planet, or technically 38th. I don't understand how these things work. I know I'm 37 years old, so I'm in my 37th year. That's good enough for me. What, you know, things are really looking up, I think, for the future of everything I'm doing. You know, I know I'm going to find a job. It's never a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And you know, there's really big, you know, I've got so many things I want to do over the next year. So many things. I mean, I'm thrilled about how the last year has gone. I mean, I didn't do a live stream for my 36th birthday because my channel was relatively new back then. It was probably about a month old, probably wasn't even a month old when I started. 24th of June. So on my birthday last year, it wasn't even a month old, so it wasn't really worth doing a live stream. But looking back at the last year and how I've grown as a person, from 36 to 37, it makes me so grateful to be part of this community. It makes me huge. I'm humbled because I'm part of this community. It is genuinely humbling to be part of this community, because you connect with so many truly amazing people, and I've made so many amazing new friends because of it, and it really means so much to me. And I know I say this a lot during my usual Friday night live streams, but in truth, it really means so much, because it could have gone completely out the window from day one. I could have given up after a month. I could have thought, this isn't going anywhere, and I didn't. And the more I persisted growing my channel, the more people I connected with, and I'm so glad I did that. I am so honestly glad that I spoke to people, I approached people. I did say to people, would you like to participate, originally in my work. And some of the reactions I got weren't exactly the reactions I'd hoped for, so I changed tactics. And the thing is, the response I've had in social media has been genuinely overwhelming, in a good way. It really, it's given me focus for the last year during the entire pandemic, and it's taken my mind off so much of the problems in the world, and allowed me to focus on the real, on what I love doing, on things that I really do enjoy creating. And it's given me purpose. And I haven't got a drink with me, but I would definitely drink to that. This is just the beginning. This is just the origin story of my channel. This is just my origin story. The first 37 years have felt like an opening chapter. The rest of the story is yet to be written, and I know and I feel that it's going to be an absolute, it's going to be one of the most exciting stories I've ever written, because it is my story. It is my life, and you can't pre-plan what happens in your life. You can't script it. You can't jot it down on a, it's not like with my characters where you can give their next line, or you can think up their next sort of appearance, or it's a completely unwritable book. But every little action that I take can nudge the pen that writes my story forward by a letter, a word, a sentence, a paragraph, anything like that. And that's something that I hold very close to my in the end, I mean, the 11th Doctor said, in the end, we're all stories. Make it a good one. And that's what I plan to do. I want to make it a good one. And I genuinely do feel blessed, really, for all the connections I've made, for all the people I've met through social media, you know, all the conversations, all the support that's taken me through my dark days, and, you know, the celebrations and the milestones. And I think it's, you know, it's important to never forget your roots. It's important to never forget the people who put you there. You know, it's easy to climb onto the pedestal and suddenly you're in a big white, you know, you're in a big you know, marble tower looking over the other people. But that marble tower can crumble. It can be demolished. You can be brought down to a certain level. You know, you shouldn't allow your ego to become more important than your morals, shall we say. And I think that's something I will always hold on to, because, you know, my subscriber, you know, if you're watching this back on the replay, it's you, the subscribers to my channel, that help make it. I'm the creator, I'm the storyteller, but I can't do it without you. I can't do it without the people that bring my characters to life. You know, after chapter 3, I realised I had so many characters that I knew I couldn't do it on my own. And thank you, Julie, I really appreciate that, thank you. You know, and I could sit up there in my ivory tower. That's the word I was looking for, the term I was looking for, ivory tower. I do beg your pardon. And I could completely forget where I've come from. You know, how my channel started, why I started it, what the purpose was. You know, I mean, yeah, it could grow to the dizzy heights of millions of viewers, like some of these channels have, and that, you know, and that does worry me. You know, the future of my channel, I know it will grow, I know more people will find it and enjoy it, but I want to remain grounded. I want to remain truthful to myself and my subscribers. I don't want to suddenly leap up into an ivory tower and look over the world and forget the people that basically helped put me there, because I don't want that. I don't want that at all. I started this channel with a sole purpose to tell a story, to create the content, to perform on an ASMR style platform, and that's what is most important to me. You know, I mean, yes, I have spoken about monetization, and I have made it very clear that any money that I did make from this channel would be reinvested back into it. I have no intention of using it on myself, unless absolutely necessary. You know, I wouldn't use it to buy a house or a car. Or, I can't drive anyway, so I certainly wouldn't use it to buy a car. But any money that I did eventually make from this channel, which will be a very long way around down the road, because obviously, you know, my channel is small with 378 subscribers. But let me just say this. Let me make this incredibly clear. 378 subscribers, I am absolutely grateful for. Thank you. And I know I've said this all in other live streams, but I am that genuinely grateful for every single one of you. You know, some of you are hidden, so I don't know who you are. You know, I mean, I've got followers like, well, Sage, you know, Whisperwind, Julie, Atlas. You know, there are many amazing people that are subscribed to my channel, and you help make it. It's because of you I keep going. You give me the fuel and the energy I need to carry on. You give me the boost, the encouragement. And I really do feel that I can't ever forget that. I can't let go of that, because if I do, I just become part of the ether. I become part of the background. You know, I become something I don't want to be. You know, I become part of the corporate machine. What I create is unique in its own standing, because granted, there are storytellers out there like me on YouTube, but for me, I consider my work, and I'm not saying this to sound big-headed, I am not saying this to sound big-headed at all, because I use the term unique because I have never actually seen any other content creator in the ASMR community work so closely and so creatively with other. When you consider it, my channel is literally built around collaborations, and that is something incredibly unusual. You know, that there are many channels that just have 1 or 2 collaborations, say every 5 or 6 months, but ever since chapter 4 onwards, a huge number of my 30 videos in the Lord of War and Heartache, and this is the first time I've mentioned that series today in this live stream. Thank you, Julie. You know, it does stand out around, you know, there are more collaboration videos in this entire project than there are solo videos in this project, where it's just me performing all the characters on my own. And the fact that everyone that's been involved has taken on board my vision and... Oh, hello, Quiet. Thank you for joining me. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you. Very much appreciated. Yes, welcome. Welcome indeed. Yes. I was just showing my gratitude to my subscribers and my viewers. But yeah, you know, I am just so genuinely, and I have used this word already, humbled by it all, because it really does mean so much to me that people have embraced my vision and embraced my concepts of storytelling. And oh, hello, thank you for joining me. Is it Guy and Correa? I'm awfully sorry if I've pronounced that absolutely incorrectly. I do apologise. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. You're still on time. I'm not going anywhere for quite a while. The football is not till 8 o'clock this evening, so I've got plenty of time. But at the moment, I was just saying, how grateful I am to, and I can't say it enough. I really can't say it enough. My gratitude towards everyone that's involved is uncountable. It's unfathomable. You can't measure it, because it is so genuine. It is so honest, and it does make me lost for words, because everyone has been so good. Everyone involved has, and my viewers and my subscribers as well. You have been involved through the chats, through joining me in my live streams. That is what is so important to me. That is why I always talk about growing my channel, and it's why I always talk about the community tab, because that one word is what is important to me. Community. I want this channel to be a community. I want to work with you on this channel. I want you to work with me. I didn't set this channel up just to be about me. It's not about me. It's about you as well. That's the whole point of this. That is, to me, the whole point of ASMR. It's not an individual thing. It's something that we all connect to. It's something that we all connect with. And it's so important. Community is so important to me. I have a big following on Twitter. I've now got, and I'm not saying this to be, I have 2,056 followers on Twitter and on Instagram. I have nearly 2,000 followers on there as well. And the reason I say about those numbers is not because of not 1,840 followers on Instagram, and I don't say these numbers to be arrogant or pretentious, because that's not who I am. The reason I mention those numbers on Twitter and Instagram is because they've become a community to me. They've become a circle of friends, and that is important to me. That is what it's all about. It's not the individual. To me, it's never been about the individual. It's always been about the group. And that's why I love sharing my story with people. That's why I love collaborating with people, because I'm sharing my story with a group of people. They can see the story developing as they read the script. They can see the notes and how the world is evolving, and how their characters are helping that world to evolve. And that's the whole point of why I would love to see this channel grow, because the more people I can connect with and build a community with, that's what it's all about to me. It's I don't want to be famous. I don't care about fame. I don't care about riches. I don't. Hello, Amanda. Thank you for joining me. I'm in sort of full philosophical flow at the moment. I do apologise. I'm sort of waxing lyrical, I believe is the term. I beg your pardon if that is the wrong term, but you know, as I was saying, it really, truly, is genuinely important to me. The more people I can connect with, the more people I can share my world with, and the more people who gain the joy that I get from it, from creating it, and they can see the joy I take in create, the pride I take. You know, I'm not proud, but I take pride. I take pride in the fact that I have a cast of players that I have built. You know, there are recurring performers. Some have just participated the once, and that's absolutely fine. I understand that they have their own commitments, but they've been part of it. They've been part of that story, and that is genuinely what is the whole point. You know, even the viewer is a participant in my story because they are the diplomat. They are in the academy. They will be the new student. In some stories they are the listener, so they don't actually have any sort of interaction with the characters. For example, the Cleo and Trajan story, the viewer doesn't have any interaction at all, but the majority of the stories they're involved in outweigh the number of stories that they're not. And that is what is most important to me, the fact that even the viewer can be involved in the development of the story. They have no script, they have no character development or background or anything like that, because they are the ones that are free to create, they're truly free to create their own image of what the diplomat looks like, sounds like, speaks like, you know, anything like that. I've always believed in giving my participants 100% creative control over their characters. And I know this has moved away from me talking about my birthday and moved on to me talking about my channel, but this to me is important. This to me is what it's all about. It's not about ego, it's not about, you know, being the most famous ASM artist on the planet. You know, it's not being recognised in the streets or, you know, anything like that. For me, it's just sharing a story, and that is what I set out to do. And I know I will get, it's going to take time, and it's actually harder to get people on board as viewers and subscribers than it is to get, because it does take a lot of investment to be involved in actually viewing the story, because I admit you have to see it from chapter 1. You can't just dive in from chapter 14, the most recent chapter. You do kind of have to start with chapter 1. But that's the thing about it, you know. I will be including some exposition in the future. There will be a chapter where there will be exposition coming up, and we will go through like a rundown of the story. Oh, Jodie's just tweeted. She's just told me Asda is absolutely rammed. Oh dear, that is not good. That means everyone's out before the football. Yeah, that's bad. That's a super. If you're not familiar with Asda, it's a supermarket here in the Quiet Cat will be, because obviously I know you're from the UK. So, but yeah, Jodie Marie has just tweeted for me that it's absolutely rammed, which means there's a lot of people in there. And I hate crowds. I can't do crowds. It does trigger my anxiety. But yeah, I mean, in all the honest truth, the whole point that I talk about, growing my channel to the figures that I do, and constantly talk about the tab. And I understand people get bored about hearing me talk about it, but it is that word community that is what is so important to me. Building that community, working with that community, involving that community, and that is how I envision ASMR and my content in particular. I don't do it for the individual. Individual people will have different likes and triggers. That I understand. That I will never deny. There are triggers that I personally don't enjoy, but I will never ever knock them. I will never put down another ASMR artist for doing them, because that is not the way it works. We all have something different. But the truth is, with my content, I honestly want to be able to bring all of that across through this story. I want to be able to create content for everybody. That's why I ask people to be involved. That is why I ask, that is why I invite content creators on board as characters, because I know that once they get an idea or a vision in their head after I've handed over the notes and the script, they will take that and they will create something truly unique. And I think that's what makes my channel unique, is that I embrace variety. I have never once said to anyone, don't do it that way. Don't ever do it that way. No. Because for me, it's not called collaboration for anything. It isn't called collaboration for just reasons. Collaboration to me is a two-way street. You work with me, I work with you, and that is what is so important to me. Working, and I know I've repeated myself so many times through this segment of the live stream, and I know I've said so much about I get that. It gets boring when you hear the same thing over and over and over again, because it just becomes repetitive. But the honest truth is, I make no apologies for that. And the reason I make no apologies for that is because I am so passionate about it. I have so much faith in the people I collaborate with. I have faith in my story. I have faith across the board. I have faith in my channel. You know, I have belief in myself, I have belief in my channel, I have belief in the people that are involved. I honestly, truly believe that once people start to discover this, they will realise that there is something out there that will give them something no, I'm not going to word it that way, because that sounds in my head it sounds okay, but I think if I say what I want to say out loud, it's just going to mess up and it's going to sound terrible. You know, I just, when you work so hard and on something you're passionate about, let's put it this way, when you work so hard on something you're passionate about, you want to share it, you want people to know about it, you want people to be able to participate, you want people to have the same enthusiasm for it, you know, the same excitement that you have when you see it appear on your subscription list. It really is something I feel that's truly special, and I simply want the world to know about it. That's the thing. I genuinely would love the world to be able to share in my story, to be able to feel the atmosphere, feel the emotions that run through my story. Some people might say there is no emotion in my story, but look beyond the trivial storytelling on the surface and look deeper, when, you know, because there are so many hidden things that I try and pick up and interpret into the story that really brings out the humanity. I mean, the participants who bring the characters to life, they dive into my scripts and notes, and they really do bring humanity to my characters, whether they be villains or, you know, let's say there are no actual villains apart from the Tyrant King and perhaps the vampires and the Sklade and the dragons. Okay, let's say that most people, if you look at it from an RPG tabletop gaming viewpoint, most people in my world would be chaotic neutral. I would say chaotic neutral. And that is neither a good nor bad thing. You know, there's no real lawful good, there's no real lawful neutral, there's no real, you know, chaotic good or whatever, you know, that sort of thing. It's all chaotic neutral. At best. And I think I need to change this up, because I'm getting too deep on this. I could be waxing lyrical about this for ages, because it is just so important to me. It is something I am so passionate about, and the fact that people have embraced that passion, and I need to write your other script as well, Quiet. I do need to write your other script as well. I will get that done. I will get that done. But I didn't want to do it just yet because obviously I know you wanted to do this one first, so fair's fair. I didn't want to overload you with too much information or character details. Yeah, so you know it I don't know really. You know, I feel like I've gone down the rabbit hole again of sort of emotions and you know, the emotions and situations of my world that I've created and but I just hope that anyone watching this back for the first time, if they get this far into the live stream, I genuinely really hope that they feel the passion for my work that I'm projecting, because it is genuine. It is absolutely 100% genuine. I can't make it up. I can't falsify it. It's impossible to falsify. That's absolutely fine, Amanda. Whatever you wish to do, that is absolutely your decision. Absolutely your decision. You know, it really is up to you. As long as you enjoy what you create, and that's the most important thing. Enjoy what you create, and really, well, be creative. Don't sort of. No, that's absolutely fine, Julie. I've just spent the last, I don't know, 30 minutes or so waxing lyrical about how proud and, well, how much I take pride and joy and you know, I got pretty deep again. You know, we went down the rabbit hole of philosophy and, you know, talking about community and things like that, which isn't a bad thing, which is not a bad thing at all. I just, exactly, Amanda, don't overthink it and enjoy yourself. You know, whatever you want to do, please do it. You know, don't just have fun. That's why, you know, you're free to make your own dialogue, because the only advice I would give is read the plot points that I've provided at the end of the note pack. You don't have to include all of them, but I would request you include at least one or two in your dialogue, because it helps the story to move along. Apart from that, you have absolute freedom to do what you wish with your character, Amanda. You know, you can talk about your passion for singing, music, as a bard, because that's what your character is, a bard or a bardic student. You know, you can read poetry, you can write poetry if you want, an original poem. Anything that appeals to you, that sounds like the sort of thing a medieval bard or minstrel would perform. And they did things like poetry, sing songs, play instruments. We have got singers and musicians in the academy, but they're very much more, the bards in the academy are trained for places like the taverns and the public town square festival sort of thing. They would perform to the local people, whereas the singers and the musicians in the academy usually go on to perform for people like the monarch in the Ondarian monarchy and the dukes and duchesses. So they are much more. The bards are probably the how to say, the juicier roles, because they are, for want of a better term, a jack of all trades. They can sing, they can play instruments, they can tell stories, they can recite poetry. You know, they're the public entertainers, whereas the singers and the musicians perform more privately for the upper classes of the monarchy. So that's how it works, really. And I'm so looking forward to the academy. I think it's going to be a superb mini series. I mean, we've got some really great names on board. You know, we've got some fantastic people involved. Amanda, of course, is involved for a start, and everyone has embraced it. Everyone that I've sent out, some people have had scripts written for them, they've asked for scripts. Some people, like Amanda, I've basically just turned around and said, enjoy yourself. You know, don't, as Amanda said, don't overthink it, just have fun, just enjoy yourself, because that's what I want out of it. I want it to feel natural. I don't want it to feel staged in certain circumstances. You know, I want... And the thing is, that's the thing. Although a lot of my stuff is scripted, it doesn't feel staged. It does feel natural. And a lot of people have commented on that for, you know, the chapter's already been and gone. And I really do feel that it's... Oh, Game Devs, hello, thank you for joining me. Thank you indeed. Just, I've been waxing lyrical for the last 45 minutes or so. It's gotten quite deep, but you know, sometimes you end up sort of it sometimes happens. Apologies, I'm eating cake. Quite messy cake. Because I'm very sure, I'll be very honest, I'm sure as soon as people get to this point, they will have turned off by now. I'm sure there's a lot of people that will have turned off by this point. But if you are watching this on the replay and you've got this far in the live stream, thank you so much. I really do appreciate your viewing this, because you know, I just want to get that message across that my subscribers, my viewers, people who interact with me through the chat and things like that, you play. I said this earlier. I did say this earlier. You play a genuinely massive role in this channel, because it's your input, your feedback, your comments, your thoughts, your impressions of what goes on here helps me tremendously to run this channel. It really does. It really is a huge help to me. And I know he's not here, but there is one ASM artist. He's quite new in the community, and I would like to give him a big shout out because he has been a huge boost of encouragement to me, and that's Goody ASMR. I'll tell you what, I'll share his. He hasn't made any content yet, but we've become friends, and was it ASMR Goody? I can never remember his channel. I'll find him through Twitter because, you know, he has become a good friend to me through social media. Thank you for joining me, Quiet. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate your presence here, and you know, for being there and joining the chat. I really do appreciate everyone that drops by and says hello. You know, it really does brighten the chat. Sorry, I'm just trying to find this channel. Yeah, and I'll keep an eye out for your next upload or premiere. Well, especially premiere, Quiet, and I will certainly join you at your next premiere for definite. But please, yes, you know, enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you're doing. Yeah, it's amazing when you get. That's the other thing, you know. I've had more messages, birthday messages, than any other year because of social media. You know, the amount, it's really amazing, you know, how many people I have connected with in the last year, and it makes it so much more special to me. Absolutely makes it so much more special, because, you know, I'm not just sharing this day with my family, which I have been. I mean, we had breakfast together, and you know, I came up here to do this live, and we'll be watching the football together later. Unless, of course, it gets too much for me, then I'll be back up here. But I won't be live streaming because there'll be too much shouting at the TV. But if it gets too much for me, I'll be back up here probably playing The Sims 4. Oh, Yoloma! Hello! Thank you for joining me. Hello, welcome. So yeah, I will probably be back up here, but not. I would have done it. I would have done this live stream in the evening, but yeah, there'd be there will be a lot of shouting at the TV later, because obviously England are playing Italy in the Euro Football Cup final, and it's not really the best although it's an amazing atmosphere. It's probably not the best to do a live stream in, because especially if language becomes a bit more blue, shall we say, and some naughty words are said, and I'm sure the whole nation will be saying a lot of naughty words during the match. You know, this program contains naughty bits. Most of you probably wouldn't know the late great comedian Kenny Everett, but that was sort of a nod towards his show. He wasn't coarse or anything, but he was all, you know, he was naughty on his show, shall we say. Just trying to find ASMR Goody, because, you know, he has been one of the best supporters of my, you know, he has been a real good encouragement to me. He really has supported me throughout these last couple of months especially, and he often comes up with some really good suggestions and really good. I will say though that the yes, they did, didn't they? They did knock Belgium out. Yeah, thank you. Yes, no, definitely. We'll our boys, our lads will, our players. You know, I'm one of those people that I'm not altogether a football fan, so I don't use a lot of the terms and slang that a lot of genuine football fans use. It's not in my nature, really. I would honestly say that I guess I'm just too I guess I'm just too polite for my own nature that I can't actually speak like a football fan, as it were. Excuse me, I'm just going to have some cake. And, you know, because obviously there's always been a bit of a stereotype for English football fans that they're lager swilling, you know, shouting sort of chants and everything, and that's not me. I mean, I don't have an England shirt, but I'm wearing this because it's red, and the England kit for home games are red. I don't know if we're playing home or away, although it's at Wembley, which is our main stadium. Yes, thank you. It was a caterpillar cake. I'm literally on the last piece now. I didn't eat the whole thing today. We had about 3/4 of it last night. My sister was around yesterday because we did the Hampton Court Flower Show, so we had cake. We had about 3/4 of it last night, and I've just finished up. I'm just finishing it up during this live stream, and it's really, really nice. It was a caterpillar cake. You can see the face, and obviously that's most of it gone now. I believe the eyes are edible. Yes, they're icing sugar. Yeah, you know, I'm just not that sort of person, really. You know, most people would say I'm too well spoken to be a lager lout, which is the stereotype for a lot of, which isn't true, really. That stereotype is unfounded. There are a lot of genuine, you know, good people who no, it is shaped like a caterpillar. there's several supermarkets in Britain. It's a very popular type of cake. It's basically what we call a Swiss roll, and it's covered in chocolate. So it's basically, yeah, chocolate Swiss roll. If you Google Swiss roll, they probably exist in Belgium, but they probably have a different name. But it's basically a spiral of sponge with chocolate ganache sort of between the layers, and it's got like a they're also done over here at Christmas as Yule logs, chocolate Yule logs. Again, they make, I don't know, I'm not fully aware of European food, and no, it certainly does. I would not. It would not sell if it did. It certainly would not sell if it did. Mind you, there were scare stories about certain foods back in the past containing things they shouldn't, but that was proven very quickly to be untrue. Oh, hello, Sleep Stories. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Joining me very briefly. No, do indeed. I hope you're heading somewhere nice. But thank you so much for dropping by. Yes, it has been a very nice day. Quiet, but there's soccer on later for the England soccer team have got into the European finals, playing Italy, and it's going to get very noisy later, so I'm doing the live stream now rather than this evening, because there could be quite a few naughty words flying around the house, shall we say, and I don't really feel that they would be appropriate to be picked up on my microphone during a live stream. So I'm doing it now because it's a lot quieter. But thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for your birthday wishes. Yes, I've received some. For those of you who are just tuning in, or again, I got well, let's just say if it becomes too much for me, I will come up here to my hobby room. I will shut myself away from the world and view some videos on YouTube. I will more than likely drop by your channel, because there's a few I will say now, there's a few favourites of yours that do help me through, so I'm very appreciative of that. But considering I follow over nearly 2,000 ASM artists, well, content creators on YouTube, I have many. I was saying this the other night on my pre-premiere live stream. In fact, I actually said that if anyone asked me to list my top 10 ASM artists, I simply couldn't do it. It's impossible, because everyone is so unique, so individual, so creative, so imaginative. It's absolutely impossible to pick a favourite, because every single one of you in the community has something unique and special to bring forward. It's genuinely impossible to have a favourite ASM artist. I really do mean that, because I will say there's probably more channels I watch more than others, and that's usually the channels I interact with the most. So most of the people that have been in the chat are probably the channels I interact with the most, through social media and other platforms, because obviously that's how we've connected. So I will grant you that. However, I could never do a top 10. I will never do a top 10 because it's so unfair. To do that for other channels is so unfair because, you know, I will recommend as many channels as I can, and I will always give shout outs to as many channels as I can. You know, I mean, you know, on my channel, I've worked with so many amazing content creators in the ASMR community. I mean, you know, Yoloma, Crystal Ball and official Raina Tamrin all worked with me on chapter 5 of The Lord of War and Heartache, and that was truly amazing. And you know, I have worked with so many wonderful people and so many good people and creative people. It's really impossible. There are people I'd like to work with. There are definitely people I'd like to work with in the community, in this community, and many of them obviously don't have messaging capability. No, that's wrong. They don't respond to message, and I fully understand that, because you know, you can bombard people. They could be bombarded with messages and it would become uncontrollable. But you know, if they, I mean, I've said it before, I did approach Amy Kay and she was very good. She did respond, and she wished me well. I fully understand she has a very busy schedule. The invite is always open to people. If in the future they have a window of opportunity and they want to participate, that's absolutely fine. But you know, I've got names that I'd love to have involved if they could. I mean, you know, I've got names like Amy Kay, Oopsie Daisy, ASMR Shani, ASMR Glow. Is it Whispering Moons? The one, no, is it Whispering Moon? I can't remember. No, it's not. No. I can't remember which one it was now. It goes by the name of Erin. I can't remember her channel name. Goodnight Moon, that's it. Goodnight. Is it Goodnight Moon? Yeah, Goodnight Moon. I beg your pardon. Whispering Moon as well, of course. If they ever saw this live stream and you know they wanted to participate, if they had a window of opportunity that they wanted to participate, they are really more than welcome. I mean, there's a huge list of people I'd love to work with, and you know, there are so many amazing content creators out there, and the reason I say I want to work with them is not, and I was talking about this earlier, because to me the importance about my channel growing is nothing to do with fame, fortune, glory, anything like that. It's all to do with community, and that's what's most important to me. The fact that they would be involved, is not for kudos, it's not for name dropping, it's not for me to say, oh look, I've had these people involved, aren't I amazing? No, it's nothing to do with that. It's just that I feel they would be amazing at helping to bring my story to life, helping to bring my world and my characters to life, like everyone else who's been involved. Because I have not had a single disappointment from anyone that's been involved in my content, in helping me to create my content, I should say. Because everyone has embraced it, accepted it, adapted it to what they feel they need to do. You know, they've created something truly special. And that's the thing about collaborations. It's not about me. It's about the essence of storytelling. It is the whole point of it being called a collaboration is that you work with the people, with the other channels. You don't. It's not about the individual. This is why I always have said to people, it isn't about me. It's about you. And I'm going back down this route again. Yes, I know we've already spoken about it quite in depth, but that's how important it is to me. It is about community. It is about participation. It is about creative collaboration and effort. It's not about name dropping. It's not about the ego. It's nothing to do with. And I have said, and yes, I will repeat this because I've already said this, and I've said this several times. I would be interested in monetization, but I would never use it for myself. The point I see in monetization is to reinvest it back into my channel so that I can make it better for my viewers, my subscribers. That is the point of monetization to me. It's not about using that money to buy a big house, or if I could drive a flashy car or anything like that. It's about reinvesting it into better, purchasing better soundproofing for a room perhaps, and I'm already looking for a video camera anyway, so I won't need to purchase a video camera. But it might be to purchase a better computer so that I can do better editing. It might be purchasing better software so I can actually do proper visual effects, proper 3D imagery, 3D visual effects, making fire come out of my fingers or something, me doing that, and instead of you just seeing a hand like that, a lightning bolt or something like that coming, and the monetization would help support my channel in that way. It would help me to really create something memorable, something, and to an extent, the fact that I've had people involved in my story is the fact that they've brought that creativity, they brought that vision to life. We've had, if you've seen chapter 5 of The Lord of War and Heartache, watch Official Raina Tamarin ASMR's section as Captain Valangale, because the visuals she created for that video, wow, because she is one of the most visually creative, content creative ASM artists out there, and there are many. There are absolutely so many people in the community that are like that. And the point of my story is, it's not just about storytelling. It's my way of wanting to showcase what the ASMR community is actually capable of creating. People who stumble across my channel may not know what ASMR is, but they know what storytelling is. They know what characterization is. They know what visual effects are. And if they're not into ASMR, it might draw them into ASMR. That is why when you see the little bit at the top of my screen that comes out to sign to my channel, it actually reads as your gateway to adventure. Because that's how I see my channel. I see it as a gateway to an adventure, and that adventure is ASMR. And the fact is, there are so many paths, so many avenues you can take into that world. You might just want sleep meditation. you might want another story. You might want, you might want someone to do a different characterisation. You might want something like a cranial nerve exam, for example. You might want something a bit more unusual, like ear licking, which isn't for me. I don't knock it though, because there are people out there who enjoy that. And who am I? I'm not a judge. I don't judge. Whatever you want, it's out there. There is always a content creator that will provide you with that content. No judgment, no contracts or anything like that. They just provide it for the viewer. And that's why when you see the little tab at the top of my thing come out with the information screen, and it says your gateway to adventure, I really do mean that. I really do mean that, because I think that is the real purpose of my story. It's not the gateway to my adventure. It's not the gateway to the Lord of War and Heartache, which is what my channel is about now. It's literally dedicated to the Lord of War and Heartache because that's what I'm most passionate about. It is allowing people to find these other ASM artists and suddenly think, wow, there are many people out there who provide something special. And that is something honestly amazing to me. And that is the point I try to make in everything I do, I say, I write, I create. You don't get that with a lot of other communities on YouTube. You get Twitch streamers and I know people enjoy Twitch and things like that, but there's just something so individual about our particular community. There is something that's so unique that we can't even begin to. We have only just scratched the surface of this. We have only just tapped the shell of the egg. We have not even hatched. The whole community has not even hatched. We are still very much scratching around on the surface. The metaphors are endless. You can have thousands of metaphors for it, and it all means the same thing. The tip of the iceberg, the base of the mountain, I don't know, not even the bottom of the Marianas Trench. If you can think of it, it can be a metaphor for our community. And it's amazing. I will say this: it's amazing how this started out as Birthday Stream, and suddenly has become something quite different. But that's how things happen. You sort of start out one way and work from it thereon. You work with what you have, and sometimes it's more fun that way, because it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And this is the thing. We are all on a journey, and I'm sure there are people out there who yearn for fame, fortune, glory, recognition in the street, things like that. I'm sure there are people out there who do this sort of thing and think to themselves, yeah, I want to make loads of money, I want to give up my day job and do this professionally. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication to do this professionally, and Oh, thank you so much, Sleep Stories. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate that. Please do enjoy the rest of your day. I certainly shall enjoy the rest of my day. Thank you. But no, you're always welcome here. You're always welcome in my live streams and premiere chats. Always a pleasure to have your presence. Thank you very much. Yeah. So, I honestly... I'm going to be honest here. But I do think if you come into this thinking about making lots of money and being famous and quitting your day job, this is just me talking. I mean, I know people in the community have done that, but they had no sort of plans to do it. But I think if you actually come into this community with that in mind, I think you're going to be in for a real disappointment. You know, I mean, it works. It has worked for people. I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to knock it. And I have absolutely deepest respect for the people that have made that work for them. You know, I truly, genuinely believe that they deserve the very best. They deserve the greatest things in life that comes their way. And, you know, they have my deepest, utmost friendship and respect. But I think if you actually come into this community thinking you're going to take it by storm and, you know, become famous overnight and really, you know, really have a time period that's all about you, then I think, I'm going to be honest, I kind of think, to use the phrase, you're barking up the wrong tree, because it takes a lot of hard work and effort and creativity. It's not just tapping a mic, or, you know, it's not just doing that on a mic, you know, doing that on a microphone or that. There's so much more to it. There's so much more. I mean, that anybody can do that. You know, anybody can do that. Anybody can flutter their fingers or whisper or, you know, talk softly or anything. But it's how you apply it. It's how you work with it. It's how you create the content. It's not just standing there looking handsome, looking pretty. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be blunt. It's not just standing there looking pretty or handsome or anything like that, because it's all about putting your heart, your soul, your passion into your content. It's nothing to do with looks. It's nothing to do with personality. You could be the most amiable person on the planet. You know, you could be the most popular person on the planet. But if you haven't got the passion or the drive for it, it's pointless. I know that sounds harsh. I don't mean that to sound harsh. I understand that there are people who... But the thing is, the people that have got where they are today in the community, you know, I'm not going to name names, but, you know, they've got really far in the community or are going far in the community, haven't done so basically on the grounds of simply being, you know, good, I'm going to say it, good looking, or, you know, or strutting around flaunting themselves, shall we say. I know that sounds like a I know that sounds bad to say, but the fact of the matter is, in all honest truth, the people that have got to where they are today in the ASMR community, the very top, have done so because they've put hours, days, months, years of creativity into their content. They have to think months, years in advance before a video comes to reality, because they have to be one step, no, not one step, they have to be 100 steps ahead of the game. Because once you're at a certain level, you've got to run. You can't just crawl or walk, you've got to run, because you've got to be ahead of yourself. It's not being ahead of anyone else, it's being ahead of you. And that scares me, because I know my channel will grow. I know that my content will become more popular. And I don't say that to be big-headed or arrogant, because it is just the way things progress. And it will take time for my channel. My channel is small. I admit that. I have no shame in it being... I feel no shame in it being small. Because at the moment, it's where I want it to be. I'm, communicating with people. I'm working with people. I've built a community that I am happy, very, very happy, in fact, to work with. As I said at the very beginning, when I started all this chat, I've made amazing friends in the last year. Superbly amazing friends. And the thought of actually getting up there with the big names eventually, because it's going to take years. It's going to take absolute years to get up to the very top. Not that I really want to be up there. I don't want millions of people. I just want a community that I can work with and communicate with and interact with. Though when you see them live streaming, the chat goes so quickly, you can't keep up with everyone that communicates with you. And that, to me, you might as well stop live streaming, because there are too many people. There are too many people to be interactive with. So many messages just get repeated and overlooked, and it's not their fault that they overlook it. It's because they have so many people on board that they look out for the key names that they interact with the most. And that's the thing, and that is how it works. These people have so many followers and subscribers that they only really look for the people they subscribe with more than anyone else, or they communicate with more than anyone else. And I want to be able to do that with everybody. It's why when you see my videos, I respond to every comment I receive. My comments are held in for review. I hold all my comments for review, and I approve them. And 99% of all the comments that I've received, in fact 100% of all the comments I've received in the last month, have been approved, because they're all mainly from ASM artists that I know and communicate with on Twitter. And that's the thing. I have a rule, a personal rule, that I do respond to all comments received on my video within reason. If they're offensive comments which I haven't received yet, or if they're spam comments, they will never see the light of day. They will never be seen on my comment feed. They will be removed, and those people blocked. However, I make it my duty, my personal duty, to respond to every comment I receive. And if you've ever seen me respond to another channel, you will see that I write quite long and eloquent comments, because I want to convey the level of appreciation I have for those content creators. That is how I interact with people. I want people to know that I'm there for them because they're there for me, and that is just, I mean, it's just how I work really in this community. You know, I could simply just give a thumbs up and a heart. You know, I could just give a thumbs up and a heart to every comment I receive, and, you know, respond to, even just responding with the words thank you is enough for some people. You know, it's the acknowledgement. It's acknowledging your community. It's acknowledging the people you interact with, and that is why community, and that is why, to me, the community tab is so important to me. That is why I dream of getting to the level that I can actually gain the community tab, because that interaction is so genuinely important to me. Because, as I said when I started talking about all this, it's my subscribers and the people I collaborate with who make this channel. I am the name, the face, the voice, the writer, the producer, the editor, the, you know, behind the project, you know, but it's my community that helps me, that helps this channel to exist. Without it, it would never have existed. And that's the point I'm making. It's the importance of the and so many people with certain channels neglect their, you know, in my opinion, they neglect their community. And I've never seen that in the ASMR community, thankfully, but I've seen channels that never respond to comments. They never respond to the people, and yet they're still followed. Yet they're still, you know, people still follow them loyally, and, you know, enjoy their content. But for me, that isn't enough. It's a two-way street. As a content creator, for me, excuse me, I've just got to, for myself as a content creator, to work with other ASM artists is absolutely a thrill ride. It is one of the most amazing things you can ever do, because they bring to the table for a project their own ideas, their own thoughts, their own creativity, and it is absolutely eye-opening how amazing they are. And I will always speak highly of everyone that I've worked with on this project, The Lord of War and Heartache, because they have come up with ideas that I've never even thought of, and it is they've really made it something special. You know, they and I've said to them, it's a two-way street. Just because, you know, I'm the host, they're my guests, I work with them as much as they work with me. That's the whole point of it. I don't just sit there telling them what to do. If they want to suggest things or find ways of improving it, do it. Don't, you know, you don't need to ask me or tell me or whatever. If you have an idea that you think will work for your character, this is what I say to people, do it. Because it would still perhaps, it will still play to my vision, but you put your mark on the character. You genuinely make it your character. And this, it is like that, it's interlocking, it's a tight, and that's what makes this community so amazing. The fact that we can take our individual thoughts and ideas and interweave them into a tight-knit, interlocking, unmovable sort of, I know that's not a very good visual metaphor, but and I really hope that people watching this back on the live stream have gotten this far, or at least skipped it, because it's just so important to me. As I said earlier on, I am never going to sit in an ivory tower looking down thinking I don't need these people anymore. They've helped make this channel, and it would be absolutely wrong of me to even consider that thought, because without them there is no Lord of War and Heartache, there is no Ondarian ASMR. As I said, I run the channel, I edit the videos, I write the scripts, I create the character names, but they bring them to life. They help interpret the story. They do the things I can't do, which is breathe life and their image into the characters. Otherwise it's all characters that just sound like me with different voices, or look like me with different voices. That's the thing. I can't do this on my own, and I really honestly wish to be able to, I'm never going to say it's make or break. I'm never ever going to say it's make or break, because that would be so wrong of me on every single level. I mean, I'm going around it. This is very much like the seventh circle, shall we say? It's all a lot of repeating of what I've already said, but sometimes it's worth saying more than once. It is worth saying it to get the message across, because this message is just so important. It just has to be shared. It needs to be heard. It needs to be understood. It needs people to sit up and go, good grief, he's right. We are a community. We are part of something far bigger. And I honestly do believe that some people have forgotten that. And as I say, I'm not pointing fingers, I'm not naming names. I would never do that. That is not who I am. And it's just something that, yeah, makes you think, doesn't it? It does make you think, and I'm hoping you've stuck with this through, on the replay, because it's definitely something to hold on to and consider. And I don't mean it in a bad way at all. I do feel that, I genuinely do feel that there's a lot to be said and done in this community. There's a lot that needs to be said and done, and I know we've had our ups and downs. I know we've had our share of trials and tribulations, and difficult times and complicated situations and unsavoury individuals. But we need to pull together, and I kind of feel in a way that what I've created is my way of my own little contribution to the community by bringing people together into a project that is just so special because of their participation. It is really something to be, for want of a better word, celebrated. Because, and I don't say that with arrogance, I don't say that with pretentiousness, because I'm not that sort of person. I say it because it's just something I feel the community needs. It's something that we need to see more of in this community. There's so much individualism in this world. We need to have more collaborative communication, collaborative working. We need, because there could come a day when the world suddenly grows tired of ASMR. It could happen. It may, hopefully it'll never happen. But we need to keep that spark alive. We need to keep that spark burning, that fire burning, that passion alight before it's too late. And I really do think that through my sort of communicating with people and inviting them on board through an open invitation to participate, I'm helping to keep that passion alight. I'm helping to keep that spark going, keeping it from becoming embers, stoking the fire, that sort of thing. Just keeping it from, helping to keep the great engine of creativity moving forward, because if we don't, it will grind to a halt and we will lose it. We will lose that energy, and we can't afford to do that. And that's why I came up with my idea, my project in particular. I consider it a community project. I consider it a community channel. Yes, as I said before, about 20-30 minutes ago, I genuinely consider it a community channel. As I said, it has my name, it has my username, I should say, it has my image in its title, profile picture. I am the writer, the editor, the producer, the director of this project. However, it is the people I work with that make it, and they make that channel. Because, I've said it so many times before, it's something I can't do alone. I need a community of people to work with me, and I am so grateful for every single person that has done so far, and is doing so at the moment, because it's really bringing my world to life. And I honestly, genuinely mean that. And the more people that I can bring that story to, the better. Because that's the point of my channel. I can go on all day about saying it's nothing to do with fame, because it isn't. That is complete and utter kablooey, because I have no interest in that. I endlessly talk about this community tab. Hi Julie, I'm kind of, I don't know if you've been listening, but I'm kind of sort of on my soapbox, waxing lyrical again. I've repeated myself so many times in the last hour, but you've got to get the message across. If you can't get the message across, how else are you going to do it? That is my point, dear viewer. If you know, I mean, we're nearly at the 3 hour, we'll soon be at the 3 hour mark for this live stream, and you know, the point is that I'm making is that I want my channel to grow, not because I want to make money from it or because I want to be recognised in the world. I want the story to be shared. I want people to share in the passion. I want people to share in the joy, the fear, the anger of the characters, the rage that they feel, the raw emotion of the story, the power that emanates from within that story, and the community spirit it creates through the collaboration that I create with the people. That is what's important to me. It's nothing to do with, you know, someone walking past me in the street going, "That's Ondarian ASMR." It's nothing to do with that. The fact that I want this blooming tag, or this, you know, tab or whatever, is that so I can work with a community of people. That is, and I said blooming, by the way, you know, but that is the whole premise of my channel. It's nothing to do with who I am, or, you know, a 37-year-old autistic male. It's all to do with you. This channel is about you. And I'm looking at the camera, which means I'm kind of looking at me, but it's nothing to do with me. It's all to do with you. My viewers, my subscribers, the people I collaborate with. It's all about you. I'm secondary to this. My name is just... It does terrify me, to be honest, because obviously I have anxiety and such, and the thing is that I have no interest in. And I will always talk about this on if I have to, I will talk about this on every live stream till the message is out there in the world. And I know people will get bored with it, but the fact of the matter is, and I understand that, and I accept that it would get boring going on about it all the time, but the fact of the matter is, the honest fact of the matter is, I didn't start involving myself in community concepts until more recent years. For many years I was alone. For many years I was a loner, a recluse, an individual that was forgotten by society because I chose to shut myself away from the world, because I was tormented and scared as a teenager, because I was going through so much torment and pain at school, I was psychologically abused, mentally abused. I bear mental scars from my years at secondary school. And it's only in recent years that I've actually become part of a community. It's only in recent years that I've made true friends. I have many good friends from youth club as well. I did go to a youth club, and I do keep in touch with quite a few of my friends from there. However, in the last year alone, I have created my biggest community of friends that I've ever had. I count all my youth club friends amongst you all. But that's why community is so important to me, because I didn't have it for so many years. I did not have true community for so many years. I didn't have the drive or the passion or the determination I have now, and that defines me so much, because it really does make a huge difference. And I hope people do watch back the full length of this live stream from the start to the finish, because the reason I say that, and I know there are people that are going to skip and jump and not even watch the first 4 minutes because they will consider me the most boring person on the planet, and that's their choice. I will not judge them for that whatsoever. I simply want people to know that I'm there for them. They can be there for me. And the whole point of this channel is that we are here together. We are all part of the same story. We are all involved somehow, and that is the truth I seek. That is why I always talk about gaining 1,000 subscribers. It's nothing to do with being the big I am, or as I've said before, being recognised in the street or having loads of money from it or anything like that. It's all about community. It's all about being part of something bigger. It's all about involvement of the many against the involvement of the few. And once you start getting huge with millions of followers, and you start having to work out your figures and everything and all that, that's when it can start to fall apart. And I don't say this to be critical or nasty or anything, because I wish everyone that is successful the very, very best. But the problem there is, because they have so many people, as I've said before with the live streams, it becomes the few. Even though there's many people communicating, they can only communicate with the few, because they're the people they look out for in the chat. And that's not their fault at all. It's because they're the people they interact with the most. Now, you can berate me, you can criticise me for all this. I totally respect your opinion. I totally respect your ideology on this. I don't mean offence or anything like that. But I genuinely do think that in order to be the real success is the fact that you can interact with the many and not the few. Now, I know that's ironic considering that my live streams don't get that many views. You know, it does go into double figures, but I don't get that many sort of participants or viewers at any one time. I mean, at the moment I've got 3 viewers according to my live stream. Yeah. And you're all welcome. You are incredibly welcome. Thank you. But that's the thing. That is something special because it's three people who have chosen to stay and listen to what I have to say, and that is so important to me. That is very much like community. That is very much how it works. And I really honestly do feel that it makes such a difference when people do stop and listen, or they do take time to take an interest in what you have to say, because you have to get a message across. It is difficult. I'm not going to say it's easy, and it never is easy. What I've been saying all in this last hour or so hasn't been easy, and I don't ever want people to think I'm criticising people, because I'm not. I am simply saying that the bigger someone becomes, the greater the pressure they have to be creative. Now, for people who know me, they will tell you I am perhaps, and I don't think so, I don't think I am, one of the most creative people they've ever met. And I don't say that to be big-headed. I'm simply saying that's what 1 or 2 people have said, have commented, how creative I am as an individual. The honest truth is, maybe I am. I just think up a story or a character and I script it. That is true. I do create all the characters and the scripts. I do tie all the scripts together, even though they're all individual. However, at the end of the day, it's all about I'm trying to think how best to word it, because I don't want to give the wrong impression, and I don't want to cause... Because the last thing I ever really want to do is cause issues in any community, because I'm not... I'm a peacekeeper at best. I am all about order and peace and things like that. I really dislike conflict for a start, which is ironic because my story will involve conflict in the future. The war with the Tyrant King. And well, one person I can mention who certainly does is Sage. She is an amazing storyteller and creator. Better than I am, I will be honest. I genuinely look up to Sage very much. I have a huge amount of respect for. She's always been one of my big inspirations for my channel. I will be honest with you. you know, it means a lot to have become friends with Sage on social media, because I do look up to her a lot as a content creator and a YouTuber and an ASM artist. You know, she is one of my biggest inspirations. I don't know really. I create what I do. I do what I create, and I create what I do because I love it so much. I really genuinely love everything about what I do. You know, I love working with the people I'm involved with in the collaboration. I love writing it. I love editing the videos together. I genuinely love the whole concept and aspect of it all. There are days when I genuinely think about giving up. I will be honest, there are days when I've looked at my channel and I think to myself, I can't be doing this anymore. I can't be doing this anymore. And then I look at my messages, I look at my comments, I look at the results of my live streams, and my whole concept, my whole thought changes from one of negativity to positivity, because I see how many people, I mean, even if I just get one comment on my videos, even if I just get one individual single comment on my videos, that is enough to spur me on. That is all it takes to spur me on, because I know that people are enjoying my work. You know, to see a thumbs up on my videos, heck, to even see a thumbs down on my videos, because it helps the algorithm. You know, it really, you know, it really does show that people do want to interact with me. And this lighting is, the sun's moved around, so is that better? That might be better. You can see me better now. I was sitting at the wrong angle, I do beg your pardon. But it just makes such a difference, and it really does give me the boost to carry on. And I don't ever want it to stop. I genuinely don't ever want it to stop. I want people to know I'm here and that I'm creating, and that they can know I'm creating. You know, I want people to you know, this has turned out to be quite a deep, it's a long stream, I know, we're over the 3-hour mark. I probably won't go any longer, to be honest with you. It's got very deep, and it started out as a birthday stream, and it's become quite in depth about the psychology of YouTube, I guess. Yeah. Well, I just hope that if you've got through to this stage of the live stream on the replay, I genuinely thank you for getting this far, because I know I can talk for Britain. I know I'm probably not the most interesting person on the planet. I know I've covered a lot of things I talk about a lot of in my other live streams or in my vlog videos well, not that I've made any vlog videos in years. But thank you. Thank you for being there. Thank you for joining me on my journey so far. Thank you for everything, basically. You know, 37 years on this planet, and I've probably achieved more in the last couple of years in my life than I ever achieved in the first I don't know how many years, to be honest. It continues to be a thrill ride. It absolutely continues to be a sheer amount of joy to be involved with this ASMR, with the ASMR community, and you know, genuinely, deeply, from the bottom of my very heart, thank you so much for being part of my world. And you know, I really do appreciate everyone that I've come to know and has become a part of my life, really. You know, I really do. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm sorry it's been so long, and it got really, really deep at the end, but when you're so passionate about something, you know, that you become part of, it really becomes, it's very special to me, and everyone that's involved in my work have become friends, and you know, it's like a second it's like a third or fourth family, really, because I've got friends in whole other communities as well. You know, it really is special to me on so many levels. So I'm going to sign off. If you're watching this on the replay and you've literally got to the 3 hour 6 minute and 20 odd second mark, I salute you, because my word, you're a brave soul to go through all this. You know, I really do salute you for it, because I have covered a lot of topics. You've seen a lot of passion come out, a lot of feeling, a lot of thought. But I really wanted to say thank you so much to everybody for supporting me. You know, your continued support, your continued friendship, it means so much to me. Thank you. I'm going to sign off now. I wish you the very best of the rest of your day, wherever you are in the world, or if you're watching this back, whatever time of day it is for you, day, night, afternoon, morning, I wish you all the very best. And this is Matt on Darian ASMR, signing off. I'm ending the stream in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.